Hello everybody, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update about what we did in class, just in case you've forgotten about making the Pac-Man open and close his mouth. So you should already, if you've already done the first tutorial, you should have a flash movie that looks a bit like the one you're seeing now. So you should have a layer that's got Pac-Man on it, a layer with the maze and a layer with the background. And on the layer with the Pac-Man you should have motion tweens that go across, which are, you can see denoted here in the blue layer. I've got little arrows that denote that there's a tween on that layer. So let's just test the movie, make sure it's working. You can either go Control, Test Movie, and then in Flash Professional, or the shortcut is Control Enter. So I'll do it this way. There we go, and then you can see him. I did it variable speeds, and he bounces around. I've made him so that he animates back to where he starts from. So that's working fine. So now what we want to do is make our Pac-Man open and close his mouth. And you should already, if you select him, you should have a blue box around him. And then if I go to the library, my library for some reason is not open. I can just go there, that's the library. The little icons of the books. And you can see that there's something in there called Pacman, and that is a movie clip, and that's the thing that we want to edit. So you've got a choice. You can either double click the one in the library and edit that one, or you can go onto the stage and double click that one, which is what I usually do, just because that's how I like to work. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. You have to find your own way of working, what you prefer. So when you double click him, it opens the timeline of that movie clip. So now we've got a timeline within a timeline. So as you can see here, it says Pac-Man, which is where they're on the Pacmans timeline. I go back to scene 1 here, that's the main timeline that the Pac-Man moves. This can be a bit of a difficult concept to get your head around initially, but if you do it, I think that the doing of it should probably help you understand it much better. So here we go, we've got our little Pac-Man, and we're going to double click him, and we're going into his timeline. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do some keyframe animation for our Pac-Man. I'm going to zoom in on him a little bit. And all I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm going to add some frames. So I'm going to select the playhead, and then I'm just simply going to press F5, 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 about 5 times. And then I'm going to make an F6, which will repeat all of the content, but it means that I can change it. Because remember, F6 denotes change. If you want to change anything, that's what you do. And then I'm going to select the rectangle tool and change the colour to anything, doesn't matter, as long as it's different than the colour of the Pac-Man. And then what we do is we just simply draw a rectangle on our Pac-Man, that's about right, and then select the rectangle and delete it, and it will in fact take the colour, take that part of the Pac-Man away. And there you can see already we've got a mouth. I'll use the scale tool, which is this one, the free transform tool, sorry, its right name. And then I'm just going to rotate him so he's pointing in the correct way. And then if you just play that, you can see there he is, opening and closing his mouth. And then I'll test the movie, Control Enter again, and there he goes. And it's dead simple to do that. So I think I told some of you in class that the analogy is really that you've got a car moving along and its wheels are turning, and our Pac-Man opening and closing its mouth, that's basically the same as having the wheels turn. Okay, so now we're going to go back to scene 1, and we're going to look at the timeline again and realise that the Pac-Man was not pointing in the right way, in the right direction. So what I'm going to do, actually I forgot to do this, double click on his timeline, I'll put a new layer on it, and then I'm going to draw an arrow, which we're going to delete afterwards, just to show the direction that he's pointing in, so we know what direction we need Pac-Man to point in. Go back to scene 1, and there's the arrow appears. So we know that he's going, when he's going this way, we know that's correct. When he gets to there, we know that's not correct. Now this is a bit tricky. It's actually be easier, I think, to be easier. It's easier if you build the Pac-Man with his mouth opening and closing, and then build the animation. It's quite tricky sometimes with Flash to change motion twins once you've already got them done. If you want to do it this way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few more frames there. That was just some F5s there. I'm going to go back to that keyframe, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another keyframe right next to it. Oops, didn't add a keyframe. Forgot the F5 instead of F6. Let's try again. No. I'll do F6 there. Oh, actually, it must not, for some reason, not working. Insert keyframe. There it is. And then I'm going to turn our Pac-Man so that he does face the right way. And this is a good little lesson to learn that every animation has got a beginning, a start point and an end point. So we've got the start point, but if you remember, he's still going to be facing that way when he gets there. So what we need to do is go in and put a keyframe in again. There, so we're going to insert timeline keyframe there. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn him so that he's still facing the right direction when he arrives, so that he hasn't become part of the next animation. So now, there we go, he turns, and he goes facing the right way, and now he's actually going to face the right way again for a while. Let's just go over here. And zoom out a little bit. Hold on a second. There we go. So we should be able to get all the way over to there, yep, and then he's going to turn, he's going to go downwards then. So all we need to do, again, another keyframe there. So insert timeline keyframe, that's F6 again. And then I will use the transform tool and rotate that, rotate that around. Come on. Rotate that around so that it's facing the right direction, which it doesn't seem to want to do. There we go. And then we're going to go to the end of that one again, and you see it's gone. It's remembered the direction it was pointing in the first place. So I need to go and put another keyframe in there. Insert timeline keyframe, and once again sort that out so he's still pointing in the same direction. You see where he gets to. Oh, he's really gone wrong there. So what we need to do on that one is turn him so that he points in the direction we want him to go in, which is that way then. And then let's see what happens to him. He's gonna turn. So we need to do another one at the end there. Insert keyframe. And then turn him all the way around again so that he's actually still pointing in the right direction. And let's see what happens from there. Yeah, he's still going the wrong way. You just keep making sure on every single keyframe that you've got that he's pointing in the right direction, and where necessary, simply add keyframes. So he's going right there. Just add keyframes when you need to. So he's going to go, I can't remember which way he's going. Oh, okay, so he goes down now. Now we need to put another keyframe in there. Insert timeline and keyframe again. And turn him round. Ooh, oops, that was good. Undo that. Pointing down the right way. And then see whether he's still, nope, not pointing the right way. So you've really got to just be really careful that you make sure you've got enough keyframes in there, and that you just keep, every time it goes supposedly pointing in the wrong direction, you either add a keyframe or you change the keyframe that you've got, like this. And it's probably going to happen again. Yep, I've got to put another one in there. Insert timeline. Keyframe again. Turning around so that he's pointing the right way. So we've lost the plot now. I'm not sure whether he's turning here. So he goes there, and then there, and then now we've got to turn him. So on that keyframe, we want to do. I can possibly play ball. So I'm going to turn him all the way around so that he points towards the beginning again, and hopefully There we go. We do one last one. Oop, you see, at the end there, and I'll just simply push that back. Now this is good that this happened, by the way, because as you can see my Pac-Man, but my maze and my background have disappeared. And the reason for that is very simple, which is that their timelines stop before my Pac-Man does. So what I can do is I can just go onto the layers and I can hit F5 and F5 for each of those, and it builds them up. So you've got to be careful of that. If your things disappear and you're not expecting them to, check your timelines are actually there. They're still there. There we go. So that should be working. Let's have a look. There we go. Going down, going up. Yeah, that seems to be working perfectly fine. When you're happy, you just simply go into, double click on your Pac-Man again, select that arrow and delete it. And then hopefully you should see the Pac-Man should behave like this. There it is. So what I'd like you to do is to make that work, and if you want to challenge yourself, and it's good. This is very simple stuff, really. Just sometimes just get into a bit of a muddle with it. What we were talking about trying to get to do last time was to add some of the ghosts or food that Pac-Man eats, and try and have him eat them. And when he eats them, they disappear from the timeline, and that's simply a matter of stopping their timelines. The important thing to make sure is that you've got all of your assets, which means Pac-Man, if he's going to eat cherries and ghosts, whatever you've got going on, but they're all on different layers. That's important, because they'll get included in other tweens otherwise. So there's my maze, and there's my background. Okay, so hopefully that should be it for now, and please bring this to class. I expect to see this absolutely working perfectly. And if you've got problems, you can email me or come to my office and talk to me there when I'm better. It's Friday today and I'm not in college because I'm not well. I'm working from home. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you on Tuesday.